Biden was back in the Badger State today promoting investment infrastructure. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark McPherson.
And I'm Lee Mills. The president says the money will go toward projects both in Milwaukee and here in Madison. Here's Wisconsin State Capitol Bureau Chief Vanessa Kelson with details on those investments.
Here at the Boys and Girls Club in Milwaukee, where President Biden announced over $3 billion in infrastructure investments, including $36 million right here in Milwaukee.
Our plan is working. America's coming back. That's America. That's what this project is all about. The project's for jobs and justice, prosperity, and unlimited possibilities. And that's why I swear to God, I've never been more optimistic about America's future than today. Not because I'm president, because we're at one of those inflection points in history.
The White House says they hope these investments help reconnect communities that were previously divided by infrastructure. They want to do things like building public spaces over highways, creating new transit routes, and expanding sidewalks that kids use to get to school. In Milwaukee, Vanessa Kelson.
Vanessa, thank you. In response to the president's visit today, U.S. Representative from Wisconsin's 1st District, Brian Stile, released a statement that criticizes the Biden administration's open border policies and points to a high cost of living and rising national debt, which he attributes to, quote, reckless spending on Biden's behalf.